back to Cooking Live. We are making cauliflower stuffing today, which I'm really excited to bring to this platform because I love it. I made it for Thanksgiving. I've made it twice since then. It is customizable, it's all vegetables, and it tastes really, really good. So I hope that you enjoy it as well. So, cauliflower stuffing, what are we talking about here? Well, we want to get all of the flavors of that traditional holiday type meal, the sage, the rosemary, that umami taste, which is a fancy way of saying it tastes kind of meaty, kind of robust. We're going to get that all in a vegetable dish, which means it's coming at a fraction of the calories, a fraction of the carbohydrates of your more traditional white bread or cornbread stuffing. Okay. The base is going to be cauliflower, and we're going to get some really good flavor from some mushrooms, as well as from my secret ingredient here, which is mirepoix. Now that is the technical French name for it. The more central Illinois version would be it is carrots, celery, and onions all cooked up together. If you are a familiar home cook, then you've been making mirepoix for all kinds of dishes, chicken and noodles, any kind of soup, stew, lots and lots and lots of just traditional American dishes start by sauteing carrots, onions, and celery together. Sometimes the carrots go away and we put bell peppers in there instead. If you do that, then it's called sofrito. So it's something you've been doing but may not have known about it. The reason mine looks like this in a jar is because I did this, I make up a big batch of it, put it in a jar, and it just hangs out in my fridge. This is a nutrition and flavor powerhouse. I wish you guys could smell. We should really add that to our camera crew. We should add a smell-o-vision. But it smells amazing, it tastes really good, and it takes about 15 minutes off my cooking time. So if you have not thought about this ahead of time, I learned how to do that from a chef I used to work with back in college. So we're going to start with our mirepoix, okay? Turn this on to about medium, okay? Add a little bit of oil to my pan. Not much, just a touch to keep everything from sticking. Adding some good olive oil in there. Some heart-healthy fats and to carry through that flavor too. I'll add in maybe like 3/4 cup of my mirepoix. Just gonna hang that out in a pan. It's gonna get good and toasty and warm while I prepare my other vegetables. It seems timely to talk about how one would wash vegetables to keep us safe from things like E. coli that was in the romaine lettuce outbreak a couple weeks ago. And since then, I believe there's been another salmonella outbreak in ground meat. And so we always need to be thinking, how do we keep our families safe from food poisoning? And one really important step is to wash your vegetables, okay? I have an 8-ounce jar or 8-ounce package of mushrooms here and a whole head of cauliflower. This cauliflower is probably like 2.5 pounds. I really only need about 8 ounces of it. So I'm gonna flip my cauliflower over, cut it in half right through the stem. Whenever you cut cauliflower, turn it upside down first. Don't cut from the top down. When you cut from the top down, not only do you bruise up the florets, which is most people's favorite part, but you end up with little cauliflower sprinkles all over your kitchen. So cutting it this way keeps things neat and tidy. And there we go. All right. For this recipe, I'm just going to trim off don't want any leaves in there. The stem is fine. We're going to shred it up. But now I want to hack it into some florets there. There you go. Big chunks is fine. We're going to shred it all up to make our stuffing consistency. So now I got my cauliflower. Okay. Throwing that in a sink full of water with my mushrooms. Now, water is good enough just to kind of knock any dirt or debris that might be on your vegetables in there. But whenever I'm thinking foodborne pathogens specifically, I'm going to add a little bit of acid. In this case, just white kitchen cooking vinegar. I have a half a sink full of water here. You know, like a half cup or so of vinegar. I don't need a lot of acid, of diluted acid will be fine. I'm just going to scrub these guys up. There you go. I don't have to get too fussy. I got my vegetable brush here. There's a little bit of dirt there. Mushrooms are notorious for having a little bit of extra seasoning in there, if you will. So we just want to make good sure we're... If you're doing things like spinach or leafy greens, romaine, iceberg lettuce and such, you really do want to get a salad spinner to knock out any of this extra water. Just drain up my stuff. Get rid of that there. All right, they're clean, they're safe, they're ready to use. Okay, move it back over here. I can hear my pan over here starting to sizzle. I'm just gonna spread that around a little bit. It's already cooked. I'm not needing to cook this any further. I just need it to come up to temperature and to get those flavors kind of melding together. Okay. Here I have my food processor. It is fitted with my shredding blade. I'll show that to you here. You could also use a box grater, but this is faster and also keeps the cauliflower sprinkles to a minimum. Cauliflower is messy, y'all. It really, really is whenever you're starting to shred it up. So we're gonna do our best to keep the kitchen clean. All right, this is gonna be a little noisy, sorry. Let's get okay. Throw in some mushrooms and another back cauliflower. Okay. I have about equal amounts of my mirepoix, or cooked carrots, celery, and onions. I got equal amounts of that, cauliflower, and mushroom here. All right. Oops, I got a little holdout. Okay. Put this off to the side. So as you can see, I have a whole processor full of cauliflower and mushrooms. I'm going to add it to my pan here. Well, I should have heated up a bigger pan. It'll cook down. I'll get it all in there. Okay. This does not take very long to cook. Because of all the tiny pieces and because of the textures that we got in there, this will stick on top of our stove. Couple minutes. It's already starting to shrink down because my pan was nice and hot. The point is not to cook it to death. The point is really just to get it all to come to the same temperature and kind of start to meld into something that resembles that stuffing. Okay. While that's working on that, I want to talk through our seasonings. There is nothing weird or exotic in this recipe. It's all things you're probably familiar with. We got salt and pepper. Always want to use those to balance out our flavors. But then the kind of new thing with this one is poultry seasoning. Poultry seasoning smells like Thanksgiving. Poultry seasoning is available in any grocery store. I believe I got this from the 99-cent spice rack. It has marjoram, thyme, rosemary, sage, and this one also has some nutmeg in it. It is exactly what it says. It's used for flavoring poultry, things like chicken and turkey, duck, goose, stuff like that. And it just really adds a nice herby depth. You want to start little, and because you can always add more seasoning, you can't always take away. When I made this the first time, I really put too much seasoning in it, and it was just like a whole face full of rosemary, which I didn't mind, but others in my family were like, I don't really like that so much. The second time I made it, I really eased up on the poultry seasoning and used more of my salt and pepper to kind of balance it out. For this pan here, it's just a regular 10-inch, 12-inch skillet. I'm going to put about a 3/4 of a teaspoon in or so. Okay, it's good there. Put the lid on it so I don't knock it over and end up with poultry seasoning all over my kitchen. All right. Ooh, and already the flavors changed. You can tell because of the smell. Okay. There we go. This is just about perfect. I'm going to take a taste real quick. Okay, so this is all vegetables. It is straight vegetable. There's no salt in it. So I'm going to add a pretty hefty pinch. Okay? That's a pretty decent pinch there. Probably like half a teaspoon or so of salt maybe. But remember, this is for the whole entire pan, and there is zero sodium in this dish so far. Okay, get that worked through. Taste and adjust our seasonings again. There you have it. It needed some salt. It needed some salt pretty bad. All right. We're gonna call that done. Okay. I'm gonna bring this up to the camera so you can see what it looks like. It's all vegetables. It's all smelling good and flavorful. This would be great as a bed to serve some grilled chicken breast with. It would be nice alongside some roast beef. You could top it with any leftover proteins you have already cooked up in your refrigerator. If you have any roasted vegetables or anything, you could stir those through, add a little more texture. It'd be great with some roasted butternut squash if you had some of that left over, or Brussels sprouts. It really is customizable to fit what your family wants to have. So please, please, please try this out and let me know what you think. It's become one of my new favorite recipes, and so I look forward to hearing all about how it turned out for you. As always, thank you for tuning in, and if you want to see us cook anything live, let us know in the comments. See you soon.